We live in a world that often preaches comfort, ease, and the avoidance of. We are told to seek happiness, to minimize discomfort, to smooth over the rough edges of existence. But what if this pervasive pursuit of comfort is, in fact, profound misunderstanding of what it means to truly live? What if the very experiences we strive to escape, the struggles, the heartbreaks, the profound disappointments, are not obstacles to our growth, but the very crucible in which our greatest potential is forged? Tonight, we embark on a challenging yet ultimately liberating journey into the heart of one of philosophy's most misunderstood thinkers, Friedrich Nietzsche. He offers us an uncomfortable truth, a radical proposition that flies in the face of modern sensibility, that suffering is not merely an unfortunate byproduct of life, but an indispensable catalyst for becoming who you truly are, for achieving a greatness that transcends mere happiness. We will explore why, for Nietzsche, the embrace of adversity, the relentless process of self-overcoming, and the audacious act of creating your own values are not just philosophical concepts, but the very blueprint for a life lived with profound meaning and power. For too long, humanity has sought solace in external authorities, in preordained moral codes, and in the comforting illusion of a benevolent, ordered universe. Nietzsche, with the piercing gaze of a prophet, declared these foundations to be crumbling. His famous proclamation, "God is dead," was not a celebration, but a stark observation of the decline of traditional religious and metaphysical frameworks that once provided meaning and moral guidance. This left humanity adrift in a sea of nihilism, a profound sense that life lacks inherent purpose or value. But unlike many who succumbed to despair in the face of this void, Nietzsche saw it as an unprecedented opportunity, a chance to shed the shackles of inherited morality and to forge a new path, one built on strength, creativity, and a radical affirmation of life. Central to this new path is the concept of the will to power. This is perhaps Nietzsche's most misunderstood idea. It is not, as often misconstrued, a crude desire for domination over others. Rather, it is a fundamental, life-affirming drive, an insatiable urge to grow, to overcome obstacles, to expand one's capabilities, and to constantly push beyond one's current limits. Every living thing, the smallest plant striving for sunlight, to the most ambitious human pursuing their dreams, is, for Nietzsche, an expression of this will to power. It is the inherent force that compels us not merely to survive, thrive, to become more. It is the creative impulse, the desire for self-mastery, the relentless striving for excellence that defines true vitality. When we suppress this innate drive, when we settle for mediocrity or allow external forces to dictate our potential, we deny the very essence of our being. The will to power, therefore, is an invitation to embrace our deepest, most potent energy and direct them towards our own self-creation. However, this journey of self-creation is rarely comfortable. In fact, for Nietzsche, it is inextricably linked with suffering. He vehemently rejected philosophy and religions that sought to eliminate suffering, viewing them as symptoms of weakness and a denial of life. For him, suffering was not an anomaly to be avoided, but a necessary condition for profound growth. It is through our struggles, our pains, our deepest challenges that we are forced to confront our limitation, to question our assumption, discover reserves of strength we never knew we possessed. Think of the athlete who pushes through physical pain to achieve a new personal best, or the artist who endures creative blocks and self-doubt to produce a masterpiece. Their suffering is not an impediment. It is the very forge in which their resilience and mastery are tempered. Nietzsche believed that those who seek to escape all suffering ultimately become weak, unable to face the harsh realities of existence, and incapable of true greatness. He saw a profound wisdom in the ancient Greek tragedy, which did not shy away from the darkest aspects of human experience, but embraced them as essential to the full spectrum of life. This brings us to Nietzsche's scathing critique of herd morality, or what he often termed slave morality. He argued that traditional moral systems, particularly those rooted in Christianity, were born out of the resentment of the weak against the strong. Unable to assert their own will to power directly, the weak inverted value. They demonized strength, pride, and self-assertion, labeling them as evil. In their place, they elevated virtues like humility, compassion, and equality, which for Nietzsche served to domesticate the strong and make them feel guilty for their natural superiority. This moral framework, he contended, was a denial of life, a system designed to suppress the natural instincts of greatness and to promote conformity and mediocrity. It fosters a culture where genuine individuality is viewed with suspicion and where the pursuit of comfort and safety trumps the arduous path of self-overcoming. To truly live, Nietzsche urged, we must break free from these inherited chains and question the very foundations of our moral beliefs. The antidote to this herd mentality and the ultimate expression of the individual's will to power is the Overman, or Übermensch. This is not a literal superhuman with extraordinary physical abilities, but an ideal, a philosophical aspiration. The Overman is the individual who has transcended conventional morality, who has overcome their own weaknesses and the limitations imposed by society, and who has courageously created their own value. They are a law unto themselves, sculptor of their own destiny, living authentically and with profound self-responsibility. The path to becoming the Overman is not one of ease, but of constant self-overcoming, a perpetual striving to become more than one currently is. It demands intellectual honesty, radical self-awareness, and an unwavering willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about oneself and the world. It means saying a resounding yes to life in all its aspects, embracing both its joys and its inevitable suffering. This radical affirmation of life, even in the face of its inherent difficulties, culminates in Nietzsche's concept of Amor Fati, the love of one's fate. This is not passive resignation, but an active, joyful embrace of everything that has happened, is happening, and will happen in your life. It means loving your past, your present, and your future, not despite its imperfections, its pains, and its setbacks, but because of them. It is the ultimate test of one's will to power. If you could live your life exactly as it has been, with every joy and every sorrow, every triumph and every failure, repeating infinitely, would you embrace it exhilarating? Would you wish for it to be otherwise? Or would you affirm it resounding yes? Amor Fati is the answer to this question. It is the courage to look at life in all its brutal honesty and declare, I want this again and again and again. It is the transformative power of accepting and loving your destiny, thereby turning even your greatest pains into sources of strength and meaning. To fully grasp Nietzsche's vision, we must also understand the interplay of the Apollonian and the Dionysian. These are two fundamental, opposing, yet complementary forces that shape human experience and culture. The Apollonian represents order, reason, individuality, form, and the pursuit of beauty and clarity. It is the realm of dreams, illusions, and the creation of distinct boundaries. The Dionysian, conversely, embodies chaos, passion, ecstasy, the dissolution of individuality, and the primal, untamed forces of life. It is the realm of intoxication, music, and the merging with a greater, undifferentiated whole. Nietzsche argued a healthy culture, a truly flourishing individual, embrace both. To deny the Dionysian is to become sterile, overly rash, detached from the vital energies of life. To deny the Apollonian, ascend into madness, formless. True strength and creativity emerge from the dynamic tension and integration of these two forces, allowing for both structure and wild, untamed vitality. It is in this dance between order and chaos that genuine self-overcoming and artistic creation become possible. This leads us to Nietzsche's most provocative call, the transvaluation of all values. This is not an invitation to amorality or a destructive nihilism. Instead, it is a profound demand for intellectual honesty and courage. Nietzsche argued that many of the moral systems we inherit are arbitrary, based on historical accidents, and designed to serve the interests of the weak rather than the strong. He urged us to look beyond good and evil, to question the very foundations of our moral beliefs, and to examine why we hold certain values, who benefits from them, and whether they truly serve life. It is the process of actively reevaluating, reinterpreting, and, if necessary, overturning the values that have been imposed upon us. For Nietzsche, true morality is not about adhering to external rules, but about creating values that affirm life, that foster strength, and that allow for flourishing of the individual. It is a creative act, a testament to one's own will, a declaration of independence from inherited dogma. Nietzsche famously called himself a philosopher with a hammer. This wasn't a call for wanton destruction, but for a critical, incisive examination of existing. The hammer is a tool for breaking down old idols, for shattering false beliefs, for clearing the way for something new to emerge. His philosophy is not a comfortable one. It demands courage, self-reliance, and a willingness to stand alone against the tide. It challenges us to shed the illusions that comfort, to embrace the discomfort of growth, and to become the architects of our own meaning. In a world increasingly defined by conformity and external validation, Nietzsche's voice rings truer than ever. He reminds us that true strength comes from within, from the relentless pursuit of self-overcoming, and from the audacious act of creating our own values in a universe that offers no inherent meaning. He compels us to confront the uncomfortable truth that our greatest growth often lies on the other side of our deepest struggle, and that by embracing suffering, we unlock our true potential for greatness, the will to power, the Overman, Amor Fati, the transvaluation of value, the dance of Apollo and Dionysus. These are not mere academic concepts. They are an invitation to look inward, to question outward, and to embark on a journey of discovery, an invitation to become more than you are, to affirm life in its entirety, and to forge your own destiny with courage and joy. Nietzsche's philosophy is a mirror reflecting back to us our deepest potential and our most profound challenge. It asks us, are you willing to become who you truly are? Are you willing to love your fate? Are you willing to live a life that, if repeated eternally, you would embrace with a resounding yes? The answer, my friend, lies within your own will to power and your willingness to embrace the uncomfortable truth of suffering or path to greatness.